the Narrative State podcast with Sabrina Speakeasy. I follow the news and the gossip. I have no shame about that. So, of course, I've been watching the most recent developments in Candace Owens' quest for truth in the name of her friend, Charlie Kirk. Before I go any further, though, I want to be clear about one thing. I don't share Turning Point USA's ideology, and I am not a Candace Owens supporter. What started this was Candace holding TPUSA and its rigid, idiosyncratic narrative to the fire. The organization was uneven at best when answering her questions. And since then, we've seen a very deliberate shift from both certain media outlets and TPUSA itself. Because the way Candace Owens is being talked about right now, the Jezebel framing, the angry black woman, the jealous mistress narrative, that's not analysis, that's a distraction. If you actually look at the facts, the romance storyline collapses immediately. This is a sexist trope that has been used forever to delegitimize an insubordinate woman. And conveniently, it sets up a neat little morality play. The grieving widow versus the jealous, unhinged ex. And there's another piece people are very deliberately refusing to talk about. Both Candace and Erika Kirk are mothers to very young children. Multiple kids, toddlers, infants. Anybody who's lived through that stage knows how completely it can consume your identity as a woman, not just as a mother. Wanting something for yourself during those years, personal purpose, relevance, adult continuity, isn't scandalous. It's human. It wasn't about romance. It wasn't about obsession. It was about two women who wanted the same role in the same institution at the same moment. And only one of them was ever going to be allowed to have it. It plays perfectly to a half-educated, emotionally immature, and highly manipulatable social media base. And it keeps people from asking better questions. So let's reality check for a second. Look at Charlie Kirk and look at his net worth at death. Now look at Candace Owens' husband. His money, his influence, his position as a former chair of Turning Point UK. Be real. I said be real. This was about succession. Candace has reach. She has numbers. She has institutional history. And it's not a stretch to think she believes she was the heir apparent, or that she was encouraged to think so, maybe even personally by Charlie. What changed wasn't her personality. What changed was the board's decision. Turning Point USA isn't just mourning a founder. It's managing an asset, a legacy, a brand, one monetized through memorials, museums, and a carefully controlled story about what Charlie Kirk stood for and who gets to speak for him now. Candace is a problem for that plan. By her own description, she's unmanageable, more Kanye than company line. So TPUSA didn't meet her criticism head on. They stalled her. They floated the idea that she'd be part of a real conversation on December 15th. Candace suggested a public debate. TPUSA offered her a seat in the audience. They could say she was welcome without actually including her. And notice who was elevated as the face of continuity. A grieving, narrative-compliant widow. Safe, sympathetic-ish. Then the strategy changed. A private meeting was suddenly announced. On December 15th, Candace Owens, Erika Kirk, and Turning Point USA met behind closed doors for 4.5 hours. Afterward, Candace called it very productive, a big step in the right direction. She cited exactly one concrete outcome. She was allowed to see call logs, a detail so small and so unexplained that it changed nothing about the public story. Candace issued a fast-talking statement of accountability. She acknowledged her hyperbole, her anger, while also promising to keep investigating her Egyptian planes theory. Her criticism still lands, but it's weaker now. The sharpest accusations are being walked back. The narrative is thinning. TPUSA, meanwhile, has moved on, redirecting attention to the forthcoming trial of Tyler Robinson, allegedly unstable by even his own mother's account. The official story is back on track. Misunderstandings, unanswered questions, inconvenient facts quietly pushed off stage. Rivalry resolved. Grift disproven. Unity restored. And just in time for the holidays. And AmFest 2025. This doesn't feel like reconciliation. It feels like coordination. Candace's access is restored. The organization is stabilized. And it looks like everyone involved is hoping to tuck the audience in for a long winter's media nap. Cocoa, cookies, and a little Christmas time closure. So, is everybody satisfied now that we're all friends again? I didn't think so, because this was a no-win situation from the start, and these endings are the rules, not the exception. With a quick conviction or an Alford plea, Tyler will likely vanish into federal custody. Case closed, justice served, narrative sealed. What survives isn't the truth. It's the version that keeps the machinery running. The story isn't solved. It's stabilized. And the public will be left with years of speculation, while the fuller truth joins so many others discarded in the graveyard of great American narratives. Keep an open mind, but don't buy the bullshit. Next time, episode 2, The Scenery Trick, The Murder of Charlie Kirk.